everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you again for joining me. It's cold in here. Anyway, thank you again for joining me. Today we're going to do a review on the new Shape Tape foundation. It is a double duty beauty, part of that collection. But anyway, first I want to address that it has been under like a lot of controversy, and I totally get it because I have a lot of my clients that always complain that when they go buy foundations, they have to buy extra things just to kind of mix it and make it so that it works for their skin tone. So, you know, I was kind of a little disappointed in that because, you know, Tarte's been a little naughty, but now they're fixing it. They're putting out more colors, which yay, because I really like Tarte. They're one of my favorite lines. I buy a ton of Tarte stuff, so I was excited that they fixed that. Anyway, this is what the foundation looks like. It looks like, you know, the concealer in steroids. Like I said, you open it up and it is exactly like the concealer. I mean, look how big that is. Now, on the website, I always have issues. That's why I hate, you know, ordering foundations, because sometimes I can't, you know, match myself up to the picture that they have. And, you know, that it was kind of confusing for me. And I was happy that I actually picked out a color that's good for me. And what I picked up, which you can't see, okay, I ended up with the medium tan honey. And even that was a little iffy because I was like, oh shoot, what if it's too dark or whatever? Anyway, it's not too bad. Now, this is a full coverage foundation. I didn't pick up the other one because I always kind of have issues with hydrating foundations, and I end up throwing it in my kit, which I have a ton because I always do that. And I just didn't want to pick up two, so I ended up picking up the matte one. Now, I'm going to go ahead and prep my skin, and I'm going to be using my Versali Unicorn, which I'm sure everybody has seen. I love this stuff. Does feel oily, but it goes down into the skin and it feels really good, and it doesn't leave your skin, you know, all oily and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that. All right. Oh my God, it smells so good too. All right, now we're gonna go into the foundation. Now, this foundation, it does kind of like dry down pretty quickly. So this isn't really one of those foundations that I would go in and kind of dot all over your face, because it does kind of dry down. And that is what it looks like so far. It's so beautiful. I have so much stuff on this table. And I'm going to do one side with the brush, and I'm going to go ahead and do, which I just told you not to do that, and I'm doing it. But I'm going to do one side with the brush. I'm going to do the other side with the sponge so that you could see what it looks like. Now, one thing about this foundation, again, which I just did because I've been drinking coffee and Coke all day, which is very naughty. I love drinking coffee and Coke, but when I mix the two, I'm like a nut. All right, so the one thing about this, it does oxidize like a teeny weeny bit, but enough that it kind of made the foundation my color, which is kind of funny. Now, I did notice that when I put the foundation underneath my eyes, and then you put concealer and powder and all that good stuff, you start getting a little bit creasy underneath the eyes. So I'm actually not too dark underneath the eyes, so I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of leave that as is and not worry about putting concealer on. So just keep that in mind when you are applying this foundation. All right, so this side I'm gonna do with the Beauty Blender. And of course, you know, I always like to use my brush instead of the Beauty Blender. I don't know why. I think I'm the only YouTuber that does that. But yeah, I just feel like it's a little bit more full coverage when you use the brush. So I'm gonna go ahead, apply a little bit more. Now, this foundation does stay on for like a good amount of time. Like, I'm really oily, and this foundation, I only got like a little bit of peak of oil throughout the day. Not too much because it's super cold here, but just a little bit. It stayed on matte. My makeup stayed on, you know, like all day, like my blush and everything. It just looked really pretty and flawless, especially if you put powder when you set it. It's beautiful, and it hides everything. My skin has been breaking out because of all the things that I've been trying out, and it's kind of freaking out a little bit. But look how beautiful. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more to it so that you can see how heavy it gets. It makes you look completely airbrushed. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So you got to make sure you go underneath and just kind of blend everything out. But it is a beautiful foundation. I was so excited about it because I do love the Shape Tape. I don't really use it on myself because it's a little too heavy for me. I use it on my clients. It's the only thing I use for my clients because I feel like I don't have to use all these correctors and stuff. I just use my Shape Tape concealer and off it goes. And this I actually used on my client and it stayed on. Like, her skin was beautiful. You know, for photography, I do love putting a little bit of a shimmer. I love putting shimmer on myself, but I want to keep the, you know, the oily skin controlled. Now, I don't know if this is going to be good for dry skin. Some people claim that when they use mattifying foundations on dry skin, they don't mind it, but I personally just like to use it on oily skin because then the skin looks a little bit too tight and I don't like that. But I love this foundation. I think it's great. I think it does oxidize just a teeny weeny bit, but it oxidized enough that it matched my skin tone like I mentioned. When you go on the website, there's a ton of light colors. The models on the website kind of confused me too because, you know, some of them had like weird, like this girl is there the whole time, which whatever, is fine. But then like everybody has red skin. Like, so you could see that it does cover, and that's true. You could have super red skin and it's going to cover up. But like just the different types of people and stuff, I couldn't really relate to them. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Just be really careful. What I actually did, I went on to Google and I looked up the swatches on like the actual arm instead of the face. And that kind of helped me out a little bit. So that's how I was able to pick up my foundation, because I was able to look at the color a little bit better than the swatch on the backdrop for the picture. So anyway, that's my quick review. Another thing, just remember that if you're a little older, kind of skip this area because it does, even though it says it's creaseless, it does get a little bit on the creasy side if you put too much and you start layering all that stuff on there. So anyway, that's my quick review on this beautiful little foundation. I really like it. It stays matte, you know, and it's great. It's $39. There's 15 colors with more colors to come. And that's it. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and I'll see you again tomorrow for my next video. Bye.